Hello folks, Typhoon Carter here, and I bring to you DPP Revival Ubers Open. This is round 8 action. I believe both are winners bracket. And yeah, so we have a double header here today, and the first of these two will be Highlord versus DKM. So Highlord, you all know and love him. Arguably the best DPP Ubers player of all time, or at least in that conversation very comfortably. Whereas on the other side, we have DKM, who is one of those very good all-around players who kind of plays a little bit everything, doesn't really have one particular generation they main. A very solid player. So this should be an interesting matchup, needless to say. But I've said enough though, let's jump right in. So we got Dialga into a Rayquaza lead. Dialga is very favored here. However, because like Dialga usually will survive whatever Rayquaza on lead throws at it. Dialga probably will try to get a Draco off, so Highlord could try to play around it, but the other thing is if this is like Sash Raven, you might want to keep that. So something like Draco Meteor into Outrage, for example, could give Dialga some trouble. So it's a bit of a weird lead matchup here that, you know, could go either way. We'll see what's up here. Oh, bad Draco miss there, and Stealth Rock's up there. Dialga will eat this Draco up, and the Ray is going to be right down to its Sash. Rayquaza will probably Outrage here. And yep, there's the Outrage. That's going to do a significant amount. And Bronzong is just going to take this and will probably nab the KO, or now the Rayquaza could try to get some extra chip damage, but instead going to use Sand. I don't know about that. Oh, did DKM not realize the airlock was active? That's the only reason I could think of why he would send T-Tar, and that's actually really bad, because you just, I think if you're DKM there, you just take the kill. Yeah, so I feel like that was just like kind of a brain fart for him, but we don't know if this Tyranitar is choice lock. Looks like it is based on the way he's playing this, and bulk up is, oh, that is bad news for DKM, because yeah, EQ is just not going to do enough. If this is, you know, sub bulk up Dialga or something like that, then he is in a lot of trouble. Explodes here, yeah, that's only going to do 18%. And DKM was probably just trying to cover the sub play, but Bronzong's going to come in here, Aura Spheres, but now you have to scout for Fire Blast if you're Highlord. Highlord's going to go into Palkia. And yep, there's the Flamethrower, and now Palkia should be able to nab a KO, and ooh, that is a lot of chip damage there kicking in, and now Highlord just losing a lot of health here just through passive damage alone, and it's in DKM's best interest to keep that Sand up or not. But Scarf Ogre will at least get rid of that, and Groudon's going to come right in for Highlord. What's he gonna do here? He's gonna T-Wave the Kyogre, so that's gonna temporarily put out of commission for now. And Bronzong will be able to enter into a game, probably going to look to get rocks up. Yeah, it feels like DKM should be comfortably ahead here, but that earlier mishap with the Tyranitar versus the Rayquaza, I think, was really costly. Especially like losing a lot of unnecessary health, and then Groudon's gonna come in here, probably just gonna try to cover up something else, and oh, okay. But this does open the door for Dialga, especially with Sun active, to just kind of come in, try to bulk up, or try to get chip damage with Dragon Claw. There is that, but now he's gonna try to play around Draco Meteor. Instead, just gonna eat an Aura Sphere. Is Highlord just gonna sack this? I think you do. And he will do just that. Really what DKM has to be careful of is giving up any position to a late game last Pokemon Dialga sweep. That's what you really should be trying to play around, and Kyogre will at least block sleep, but this Dialga, oh, that's a really tough full para, especially if it was gonna Ice Beam there, and now Dialga is gonna be able to bulk up, and here's the thing, Dialga could reasonably PP stall this. Or not, but it's go rest. It is rest talk. So this is the exact scenario that DKM needed to avoid. And it doesn't look like he has any phasing of any kind, because if he did, he should have done it much, much sooner. And Highlord getting a little bit of a bad break here with the rest talk rolls. And now he just has to dodge some crits here. And oh, I don't know about that. Okay, I mean it should live one, barring crit, but still, Highlord playing with a bit of fire here. And I don't think he has a growl. I don't think DKM has a Groudon. It could be a Palkia last. I could see that, but this is just, yeah. Now the Dialga's at +3, so this is just kind of a train wreck, for lack of a better word. And DKM's just kind of hoping he could get a crit, get something here. Well, last could be Mewtwo. No, it's Latias instead, which will do a decent amount to Dialga, but Dialga should be able to get the KO here. Take the KO here, and then now Highlord is probably just going to rest this off. Because again, what else is the Dialga going to be able to do? Or Dragon Claw. Oops, I totally forgot. But Highlord's going to win this game 1 and be up 1-0, so yeah, good stuff from Highlord playing to his outs, but for DKM, this just kind of feels like a train wreck that he could have completely avoided at several spots. Like when the Trick Room was up, like take the kill versus Rayquaza, like there is no like the only other way this could have made any sense for DKM. Actually, no, okay, I'm gonna come a little bit slack here because EQ'd Explosion Payback? Gyro Ball? I mean, if he didn't have that, then okay, sure, go T-Tar, I guess. But, jeez. Makes you think, though. Makes you think a little, but I mean, if he didn't have that, then okay, I guess that makes sense. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like I don't know, it felt avoidable, but I don't know about you. But the other issue here was like, you know, you just didn't have a great T-Wave answer, which is, yeah, like T-Wave's gonna do that sometimes, like especially on the turn when Dialga came in. I think DKM could have gotten significant chip damage with Ice Beam, for example. Yeah, so, you know, like that's the game we play. And yeah, like I'm just trying to think, like, was there any other way for DKM to avoid this? I mean, he could have maybe made a couple more hard clicks, like a couple harder predicts, like, you know, dropping a Draco or like a flamethrower on an incoming Bronzong, you know, things like that. But that's the game we play, and we still have a game 2 though. Anyways, we have game 2, match point for Highlord, potentially DOS into a Palkia. This might be Fling Palkia for all I know. Spikes up here. Yep, there's the Fling. Yeah, that's kind of what you really see from lead Palkia generally. And oh, that is a really rough miss there. And Fling is really good as a Forsuous speed control. And wow, he's already lost half of his, well, almost all his Draco PP. Which is not really a good sign if you're Highlord. But Mewtwo is going to come in here on Highlord's end. And there's the SD. Is this Wisp Mewtwo? If this is Wisp, then you can perhaps get out of this. There is the Wisp indeed. That EQ is still going to do 54% to Mewtwo, so that could be a stall 2 for all I know. I mean, if you're DKM, I mean, you could consider SDing once more. Oh, there's the SD. And then try to like just rip a powerful EQ off, but Highlord is going to end up playing around that with the Scarm. Scarm has to scout out for Hidden Power Fire though. Or sorry, not Hidden Power Fire, but a Fire Punch. And Ho-Oh is going to come in. Could get a free sub up if it has it. And Palkia is going to enter into a game here on a boosted Sacred Fire. And yeah, as we know, it was Light Ball. No other item. And going to play around the Brave Bird. Try to make this Ho-Oh try to wear itself down perhaps. I'm not really sure what else you can really do here. And looks like Palkia is just going to get sacked here. So Highlord's probably just looking for a clean entry of sorts. And Mewtwo is the counterplay. Does this have Boom? It might not, but I mean, if you're DKM, oh, there's a Sacred Fire, and that looks like a stall 2 if I've ever seen one. And now Skarmory is probably just got, yeah, try to play around the Brave Bird because of pressure being a real issue. Brave Birds again. Is he gonna get a Toxic off? Nope, just go Whirlwind into Dialga. Dialga probably gonna be able to get Rocks up. But I gotta go Groudon to Scout Thunder. Or eats a Fire Blast up, so Highlord catching a bit of a break here. Yeah, that would have been a possible 2-hit KO, and that is a support Groudon if I've ever seen one. And DKM's gonna bring his own Groudon and try to eat this up, and yep, there's a Scarm Bliss, makes sense. Usually if you're gonna run Scarm, you want to have Bliss for fairly self-explanatory reasons, I think. And Scarm will comfortably sit on this Bronzong. The only thing Bronzong could try to do is Hypnosis, but since it's Taunt, that's not gonna be happening anytime soon. Latios is the answer here, but I think the big concern here for DKM is like he's letting all these hazards go up, and the more he has to swap around, especially because he has no way to remove rocks. He has Groudon that's gonna eat a bunch of damage from hazards alone. Latios can't really do anything to Blissey as of right now. And the Groudon is burned, and Ho-Oh has the quad. Oh, that Ho-Oh is as good as dead, so a very good Whirlwind there from Highlord. But this Dialga could still try to do something. If it's not mixed, then it's not going to be able to touch this Blissey reliably. And Blissey should be able to heal back up. The big thing that Highlord wants to avoid happening is the Bronzong just being able to explode. But this Latios is going to perhaps run a Himpower Fire. Some do run that, but not all. And Blissey's going to come right in. It's going to eat all that hazard damage. No crit there. A crit could have potentially put Blissey in peril, but does not seem like that's going to happen today. So yeah, every time Highlord comes in, this is kind of the thing that you got to be careful of. Scarm's gonna come in. What's the last here for Highlord? I imagine you probably want could be a Giratina for all I know. Yeah, because like I don't think Highlord's had much incentive to bring Giratina into a game here, especially because Blissey's just doing its job just fine if he has it. Yeah, like I imagine it's just like a nut or like a Lati twin perhaps. That's another angle too that I think is worth considering. And yeah, DKM making some nice doubles there, trying to make the Scarm eat unnecessary chip damage. Well, or rather force chip damage on the Scarm. No crit again. And yeah, that's a song and dance that DKM's gonna have to continue a few more times if he wants any shot at breaking through Highlord's team. The last is Dialga, that actually makes a ton of sense. Because you want another Steel and another, like, you know, Toxic Immune, and Ho-Oh's gonna be sacrificed there. And this Dialga actually looks really threatening on Highlord's end, especially if he can make sure that, you know, his own Dialga doesn't eat a bunch of... Oh, right as I say that, it looked really nice there, but, you know, that doesn't look like that's gonna be happening today. And the other thing I'd say is that Groudon is on Highlord's end probably lacks Lava Plume. It's probably like, you know, SR, you know, T-Wave EQ, and then like Dragon Claw, for example. That's something that I could see being possible, and that Mewtwo's gonna be sacked off. Gonna get full parrot there, and going to use that Mewtwo sack to get a clean entry for the Skarmory there. Roost is up here. It's gonna be back to 77% there. And Blissey once again has to deal with a potential crit, and Hidden Power is there, so finally shows Hidden Power, and gonna go back out the Bronzong. Blissey's got Soft Boil. And again, DKM, you're not exactly swimming with opportunities, and oh, huge full para there. Skarm's going to come in, I was gonna say, and gonna be able to comfortably eat this up. Whirlwind's out here, and that Dialga is now out of the picture. And now it's really just a Bronzong and a Latios coming in, and Bronzong, especially versus Scarm Bliss, can just be extreme dead weight, as we can see in scenarios like this. And that's kind of like one of the major downsides of using Zong, is just that, like, it's used to try to eat up blows from like Draco Meteors, but then you're just kind of, it's like not doing a whole lot after that. It's kind of like Seismitoad in SSOU when Dracovish was legal. Makes you think a little bit, but yeah, that EQ, again, 33%, not exactly doing a whole lot there. Whirlwinds again. I think Highlord's just trying to draw that Groudon out, and then if it's a last Pokemon Bronzong situation, then you can just comfortably stall this out. And there's the recover from Latios. Really, you want to force this down to a two-man game. There's the Gyro Ball. I mean, yeah, Gyro Ball is like boosted because of the paralysis, but Boost again. There's the EQ. There's just not a lot that Highlord really has to do, and DKM, I'm not really sure how you're beating this out. I guess you do have the Dracos. If you can just somehow find a way to break through that Blissey, then I think if you can just land one Draco crit on the Blissey, I think you are in a fantastic spot. But he's only really got 5 tries to do this. There's one, you got... Oh, that is a really bad miss there. It was doing about 39-ish% there. So yeah, like, you really cannot be you really just can't afford to miss Dracos at this stage in the game. And again, Highlord, he's got match point. Like, you know, you can kind of see DKM's just trying to look for an opportunity to make something happen. Another Draco miss. So yeah, this is just getting harder and harder for DKM to come back from it. It just looks less and less likely that he can, you know, make it out of this game. And Gyro Ball's down to 2, EQ's down to 10. If Highlord gets another Whirlwind off or something on the Latios, like chains a couple Whirlwind turns together, then, you know, oh, there's that. So yeah, that could have been a possible KO chance, but that did not happen. And now DKM, I believe, is down to two Dracos, and A7, yeah, it's got to take a lot, but no crit again. So DKM just not able to get anything, and really and now he's just out. Okay, and now he has no way to break this Blissey. Bronzong's going to get S-tossed down, and really Highlord's just trying to prevent an explosion from going off. But if you keep doing this, and say you keep going Blissey, and there's nothing stopping you from just, you know, S-tossing this whole thing down. And again, Blissey hasn't used a crazy ton of S-tosses when you look at the overall picture. Bronzong, oh, tries to T-wave there, and not gonna get that, and Skarm's gonna have to come in again. Finally eats up the explosion, but this game, it is too little too late. Skarm can be sacked off, does not really matter. And Blissey, there is nope, no crit there. There was a small crit chance there to try and make something happen, but DKM's gonna forfeit. Highlord's gonna win this series 2-0, and he is going to remain in winner's bracket. DKM is still going to remain in this tournament, as he is not eliminated just yet. So relatively good showing from Highlord. I think DKM had a little bit more competitive showing in game 2. But you know, just couldn't quite get some things to go his way, and that's the game we play. Anyways, for our second series of today, we got Splendid Silver Star, my words, BKC's new video, and Crying. So, you know, it should be a very exciting matchup. Let's just jump right in. So we got Frostlass into a Tyranitar. So Frostlass probably just going to get spikes up. T-Tar's probably got payback or crunch it down, but nope, Crying's just gonna preserve that. And T-Tar, that could be Sash, could be Custap, could be Lum. We don't know for sure. Oh, there is the Focus Sash indeed. And oh, huge Fire Blast miss. If it was counter there, then that could have also done some crazy work there. And huge EQ crit, so Silver Star just kind of not getting a whole lot going his way today. But Bronzong should be able to get rocks up at the very least, and that Magnezone will comfortably trap it. Payback's there. Silver Star knows what's up. He is probably just going to explode here. But tried to get one more payback off before exploding, but that not gonna work out. So that Magnezone has done its job for the time being. And Quillfish going to not quite able to KO the Magnezone. Yeah, Something people really forget is that, you know, Magnezone is just so bulky. Even like, you know, Life Orb boosted waterfalls from Quillfish into Rain, just not enough to KO this bad boy. And the big thing I'd say with Magnezone and Ubers is that it can afford to actually run some bulk, which is like kind of a nice little upside that it's got, so it can focus on being a little bit more durable, being able to take blows better. But you gotta remember, this thing has like what, 100 plus, like 110 base defense or something like that. I don't remember the exact number off my head, but this thing is extremely bulky. Even if its HP stats not the highest, but T-Tar's gonna come in here. It could be 243 Tar, looks like it is. Gonna take out that Magnezone. And Garchomp going to try to abuse this Sand Veil. You know, maybe try to get some hacks going. And gonna swap on the Frostlass, which is interesting enough. So Crying, it's probably just Scarf Chomp, so otherwise I would say that, you know, you could do some crazy things with you know, the Garchomp with Stand Up because of Sand Veil and whatnot. And Dialga gonna try to get some Trick Room action going here, but Thunder going to miss in the sand, which is quite annoying because Frostlass now is just getting a little bit more mileage than expected. And now having burnt for now, it's down to 2 turns of Trick Room, and Crying's last is also Giratina altered. Gotta eat that, gotta scout out that Draco Meteor, and really Crying's just trying to aim to stall these turns out, but that Giratina is gonna go down. I don't know if that crit matters or not. It could be modest, or plus special attack Dialga, but Kyogre is going to be sacrificed here, and rocks are going to go up for Crying. So, you know, Crying having firmly won the Hazard War decisively. Question is, what's he gonna do with that? And oh, nice outrage there from Silver Star. Not something you actually see a whole lot from Giratina altered, but yeah, that could have been Scarf, but we don't know for sure. It's too early to tell. Hurts itself in confusion, but this Groudon is going to KO the Giratina. And now this Dialga is kind of down to its last legs, but Groudon or Garchomp will close this game out. EQ is clicked, and Crying is going to take game 1. So nicely done from Crying, but that Frostlass got way more mileage than expected. The crit on the Bronzong may or may not have mattered, but it might have not given the way the game was played out. But I think the Dialga missing 2 Thunders there was a bit rough. Especially in the sand, but like you gotta remember it's 70 accuracy. But you generally just need that extra power in the Ubers for good reason. Although really I think he was just trying to avoid having Draco drops. I think if you land one of those, then that Trick Room Dialga could have gotten a ton more mileage. But regardless though, we have a best of 3 to continue onward. Game 2 here, Rayquaza into a Darkrai. Darkrai probably gonna get a Sleep Off, but instead just going to Ice Beam here, and a Scizor going to threaten a U-turn. U-turns here into Dialga, and that Groudon is gonna come out, so that might be a Scarf Darkrai lead on Crying's end, and Bronzong's gonna show up there. Ray's gonna come right back into a fray here. There's the overheat. Overheat not gonna quite do enough, but explodes there, and Rayquaza is gonna hang on to its Focus Sash, and now E-Speed could do decent amounts of damage if he has it, but might not be a case. And Surf in the Sun is that's a decision. So was probably just trying to avoid any drops in or Draco drops against Steel. So yeah, I kind of get why Crying went for that. Dialga's shouldn't be faster here, and Groudon looks like gonna do 76%, so decent damage on this Dialga, and Crying more than content with letting the Dialga go. Dragon Claw's there trying to mid-ground a Latios switch, but Rayquaza on Crying's end is gonna show up. Is this a Mix Ray or a Scarf Ray? This might be a Scarf Ray though, but we don't know for sure. Darkrai's gonna come in, gotta be used as a sacrificial piece. What's the next move? Latios. Latios usually faster than Latias, and Rayquaza's gonna be sacrificed here. And Latios gonna roost up here. And Scizor lands a Thunder, 50% Thunder in the sun. That is a crazy click there to go for, but I guess Crying just didn't have a better option there. And that is a Rest Dialga. That is Rest Bulk Up Dialga if I've ever seen one. And now Silver Star is in a fantastic position here to try and close this game out. He just needs to dodge a little bit hacks here. And yep, there's the Outrage. Problem is that Rayquaza, if it's Scarf Ray, then it can threaten a ton of damage on this Dialga. And that crit may or may not have mattered. It might have actually mattered if it's Scarf Ray, but Latias going to... No! It is perhaps Lum Ray. Or Yachi Ray, I'm not sure. Draco's there's gonna take care of that, but... Latias lives on 1%! And still gonna do a significant amount to this Kyogre that is now choice locked into Scarf, and Mewtwo should be able to deal with this comfortably. And there's the Grass Knot, and Silver Star is going to win. Wait, what? Wait, that Mewtwo is faster than the Kyogre, and Kyogre used Ice. Wait a second. Oh, it's a Scarf Mewtwo. Yeah, I was like, hold on, did the Crying load up Quick Claw or something? But I'm like, no, it's probably just Scarf Mewtwo, which is actually not a super common set, but it does exist. Yeah, so yeah, had me tweaking for a second, but needless to say though, it's tied 1-1. It was an interesting game to say, but hey, we got a rubber match here, and neither player is at risk of being eliminated just yet, as this is round 8. But both players are... But whoever wins here, ideally, is going to stay in winner's bracket, skip around. Loser gets sent down to loser's bracket. But yeah, so here, game 3, rubber match. We got Kyogre into... yeah, so we got Kyogre here. What's it going to be? And oh, that might be a Specs Kyogre. And Groudon on Crying's end. Probably try to take advantage of that choice lock. But just gotta get rocks up for a time being. And oh, that is a slow Giratina, and oh, huge para there being, and now Crying can preserve health on this Groudon. That saved about like 30 something% chip damage, and that's just a support Groudon with T-Wave, EQ, Dragon Claw. Bronzong also gonna be para'd, so Crying basically just focus on spreading para here, and Wobbuffet is gonna be shown here. So there could be a Wob plus a Rayquaza in the back. And now this Wobbuffet should be able to comfortably trap this Bronzong now that it's locked into this move. Counter going to be a near to it KO. But a high roll here could also get the job done. But nope, not quite. And another EQ again. And there's the counter. So Wobbuffet, having successfully trapped the Bronzong, now means that this Kyogre probably is going to be forced to make a big click here. Yep, there's the Water Spout there going to do... Yep, that's a Specs if I've ever seen it. And Tyranitar is going to be Silver Star's answer to Latias. Latias is going to make a recover there, but just got to focus on wearing down this Tyranitar. Tyranitar Pursuit does not quite kill. That's a CB T-Tar. But this Groudon, though, is still going to be a huge nuisance to Crying's team, or sorry, to Silver Star's team. And Kyogre once again got friend another Water Spout or Surf. Water Spout there, going to do 24%. And now this Rayquaza is going to be able to come in, deal significant damage to whatever comes in. And there is the DD. DD Ray here looking to be a huge threat. And that's probably got some attack investment, but can't say for sure. Dialga is going to come in here. It should be able to eat a Outrage, but it's... or not. So that might be an offensive Dialga. Or he Scarf Dialga, we don't know for sure. And that Kyogre is also going to go down. And this Ray is just on a tear right now. If no self-hit here, and that's that. So Crying's gonna take this series 2-1, and Splendid Silver Star is gonna be sent down to losers bracket. I think that game was just a textbook example of how a Wobbuffet can enable a Rayquaza sweep, and we kind of saw it on full display here, with the Latias being able to deal significant damage to the CB-Tar. CB-Tar being locked into pursuit means that Ray isn't gonna take as much damage in general, and then, you know, get a free turn of setup. And then you really see how +1 Life Orb boosted Rayquaza of Outrage can just really shred through some teams very easily, especially once the conditions are really set in place. But regardless though, if you guys enjoyed this doubleheader, like, comment, subscribe, and consider donating to DPP Revival Ubers' prize pool, and I will see you guys next time.